Hi, everyone. Really excited to be part of this masterclass series on employee benefits surveys. Today, we're going to be specifically talking about how to analyze and present findings. First, a little bit about me. My name is Maddie. I'm the People Operations Generalist here at Nava, and I am the person tasked with presenting our benefits survey results after we run them. So first question here, after the form submission period has closed, what's the first thing you should do with that raw data? This might be obvious, but read it, by which I mean don't jump to sorting your data right away. So really take the time to sit with the raw data, take in each and every piece of feedback that was given. You won't be able to action all of it, but it all is really valuable and worth taking the time to look through. And then I would also recommend, if you have multiple people on your team, having each of them come through the results separately before coming together. This way you'll have multiple unbiased eyes on the results before diving into finding key themes and patterns as a group. What are the key themes you should look for in your data? So after you've sat with the raw data, the main thing is to look for repetition. So what's coming up for your employees across the board, really honing in on themes that are present across many members of your team is where you'll find the most value. Another theme to look for is general employee sentiment. Are the employees generally satisfied with their benefits package? Are there any major smoke areas you're seeing? And looking at your NPS score is a great way to get a sense of this. And lastly, if this is not your first benefits survey, previous data can serve as a benchmark to grade against. So are there any significant changes between this survey and your last? Where has the data remained consistent? These are themes that can be a really compelling argument for where to focus your efforts in the coming year. Next question is, any tools or platforms that you'd recommend for data analysis or visualization? For me, I like to keep things simple and free, so I wouldn't discount Google Sheets or Excel to short your data, and you can do that into bar graphs or pie charts if that's helpful. Another interesting visualization that can be helpful is making a word cloud. This is specifically with qualitative data. So there are many free services out there to do this, and it can be a great and fun way to find those key themes and like tell a story with your employees' words without making them feel put on the spot. How do you leverage qualitative data in your analysis? So first and foremost, qualitative data is super helpful when doing these surveys. And when looking at qualitative data, there are a couple elements that can help you leverage those results. One of those is tone in the qualitative data. So of course, it can be difficult to pick up on tone in written form, but it's definitely worth looking at any strong language in your qualitative feedback. Oftentimes, you can discern from an employee's language if they're talking about real deal breakers or just nice to haves in their benefits package. So this can help you determine if there are real pressure points at the company. Another one is context clues. So with qualitative data, you can sometimes discern more context about an employee's experience with your benefits package. So for example, an employee might say, at my last company, our benefit was X, or when I started, the benefit used to be. And that can help inform where the feedback is coming from and how it sits within the broader landscape of your employee base. And lastly, in terms of how to leverage qualitative data, in your presentation to the company, my recommendation would be to pull out general sentiments or use the word cloud, but not directly pulling out individual quotes from your survey. Even if the survey is anonymous, that can still make a person who wrote the quote feel singled out, and we want our employees to feel safe and their anonymity being protected when filling out any survey that we send out. Any examples you can share of something unexpected you learned when looking at findings? This is a great question. In our last survey, I was surprised to see both quantitative and qualitative data surface around knowledge and literacy of two of our benefits. So several employees mentioned in our survey that they didn't even know we had these benefits, and that if they did, they didn't know how to use them. I was under the impression that I had gone through making these benefits known in onboarding, and that generally people had a good understanding of how to use them, and I was wrong. So this was great feedback for my team. We needed to realize that we needed to better communicate these offerings that we currently have and how to educate people on these benefits. Maybe it was the way that we had communicated the offerings, or given that we were in a really high growth stage, maybe we moved too quickly in implementing these benefits and didn't take the time to walk through best use cases with the team. So moving forward, that helps us interrogate our approach to communicating our benefits and increasing literacy on those benefits. And then it also pushes us to consider whether we should be offering those benefits. If no one knew they existed and no one was using them, are they really something that we should be putting resources towards? When you're sharing the results of your employee population, what are the goals of presenting the data? So, as a people operations team, our goal is to be an advocate for the employees on behalf of the company. And what I mean by this is we want to create opportunities to hear from our employees while also managing their expectations on how their feedback is utilized alongside the company's priorities. So, when presenting the results, it's really important to reiterate the why behind the survey and the larger context these surveys are a part of. And a great idea is to anchor this context to your company values and demonstrate your commitment to putting those values into practice. Your benefits is a huge part of enforcing your commitment to your values, so it's a really great idea to reiterate that. Another goal is just to express gratitude. It can be a vulnerable thing to speak up about what you want to see from your employer. So thank your employees for giving you these responses and continue to empower them to feel comfortable sharing feedback. Their feedback really does directly inform your decision making on what benefits you're choosing. So validate that and remind them that they are key stakeholders in these decisions. Another call out I'll make is review what benefits you already have. Generally, a benefits survey doesn't lead to a major overhaul of your benefits package, but just a reevaluation of what is and isn't working. So remind them of what is working and what resources they have at their fingertips. And lastly, of course, share next steps. You've shown them what you've learned by presenting these results, but now you want to show how you're leveraging that moving forward. So outline what happens next so it's clear that you're taking action. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful. As a reminder, we have a free survey template for you to download if you're interested, and wishing you all the best of luck on your survey journeys. Thanks, everyone.